Hey everybody. I had a little health scare yesterday. I had to go to the emergency room. I told y'all that I had a upper respiratory infection or upper respiratory virus that led to pleurisy. And pleurisy is like inflammation of your chest walls and the lining around your lungs. So that's why my voice sounds like this. It hurts sometimes to breathe in and out, but I'm good. Everything else looks fine. My heart looks good. Everything's good. So, okay, I'm getting back to the sicko, and I believe that I left off that I had moved to Virginia, and he was getting ready to go on a 6-month Mediterranean cruise. He reluctantly added me to his accounts. Was just talking all kind of noise about not letting nobody, don't give nobody none of his money, and just stuff like that. And he wouldn't make as much as he made if it wasn't for me or his child, with the different housing allowances and um, increasing pay for having a child. So anyway, he left. I was just, I was glad that he was gone, but I wanted to go home. I was homesick, and I had met some friends, and I met one of my good friends that was from the same neighborhood as me and the sicko, and so she kept me company while I was pregnant, and I appreciated her for that. But she knew exactly who he was, cause uh, she told me that he had burned her as well, giving her an STD. So, but that was before me. That's before I had a long period of time of not dealing with him, like I said, from 6th grade, and then we stopped communicating and stopped talking. Once I went to high school, I didn't go to the high school that was in the neighborhood. I went to a magnet high school where they were integrating uh, this school. So that's why it was called a magnet high school. So it didn't matter what neighborhood you lived in. If you could take a test and your grades were of a certain caliber, you could go to this school. So that's why I went to uh, the high school that I went to, and the sicko went to this uh, high school in the neighborhood. So anyway, my high school friend was there, and we always got along. So she, her and my daughter have the same birthday. But I was pregnant with my daughter, and she still was in the Navy, and she had a son. So I would babysit her son, and while she went to work and all of that stuff. So while the sicko was still out, he he would write sometimes, not really. And he's the kind of man that'll try to make other women uh, like try to convince you that it's no way that other women can compare to you, because he was saying that the women in if they were in Spain, that they smelled, that they didn't or the French women, they had natural body odor, and it's no way he would touch them because they smell bad. But that was a lie. He didn't care. And so I had made friends with one of his ship mates' wives, and her and I were pregnant at the same time. But she had her baby in the same month or at the end of July. My baby was born August 3rd. So um, she had her baby like in July. She was telling me how all the people on the ship sent her flowers and told her congratulations and all of that stuff. So I was just I was just happy because I felt like maybe some good's gonna come out because he was on the same ship as the sicko. So when before I had my baby, um, my mother-in-law and my mom came down to bring Justin back, bring my son, my older son back, to bring him back so he could be here when my daughter is born. But my daughter was stubborn. They had stayed for a week because she was due the end of July. They had stayed like the last week of July, and then they had to go back. And so it was me and Justin at home, and Justin was like, "Mama, if if I have a little sister, can I name her Jasmine, Princess Jasmine?" And I was like, "I don't know about the princess part, but yeah, we'll name her Jasmine." So my that's how my daughter got her name Jasmine because he was a big fan of Aladdin. So now, um, I'm pregnant. I felt like my so many bad incidents happened between me and him. We would fight. Uh, he would stay gone. Then he come back trying to be all lovey-dovey and all of that stuff, and it was just awful. So this one particular call really stood out for me because this girl called my house and she said I was the one calling and hanging up. I need you to know that uh, Howard, I can't say the R word, but S.A. I can't say that either. S assaulted her. And I was like, no, he did. Not my husband. And then she began to describe everything. She knew stuff that you wouldn't know unless you had been intimate with him and know certain things about him. And she said how he does it is, she said that wasn't the first time. And I was like, okay, now I can understand one time, but you had to allow him to come back. So I don't think he may have been forceful, but I don't think he, because she let him come back a second time. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? But anyway, she said what he does is say he'll take you out or do whatever, but it's like, since I'm doing this for you, you got to do something for me. He's never been just, well, with me, he never was generous. He was he was comfortable with me handling everything. So she said that he would say, uh, man, I really need to use your restroom. Can I use your restroom? I can't wait. And so that's how he would get them to let him in the house after they go somewhere. Then I guess make them feel comfortable enough to come in. And she said that that's what happened. So me, just like, there's just some girl he's fooling around with, and she know he married and just want to make me mad. I was so like just crazy. So I told him that, and he was like, "That's some crazy girl." Everybody is crazy and be stalking him. He don't stalk nobody. People just be stalking him and lying on him. So his famous saying was, "I'm gonna take him to court, and I'm gonna get some money out of them. They keep on lying on me." I was like, "Yeah, you need to do that. So maybe I can get some of that money that you suing them for." Okay, fast forward to my daughter being born. So he was back in time, and uh, my mom had started hearing the phone calls, and his mom too. But his mom was very reserved. My mom is very outspoken, like me. She just couldn't understand why I was just staying, and all these women were calling and hanging up or calling to speak to him and all of this stuff. And my mama was like, it couldn't be me. But I never disrespected my mama, but it was her. You stayed with a man that uh, put his hands on you. So it could be you, but I would never say that. But it was her. That's why I learned to stay, because of that, because of what I saw. So anyway, they their bus, they rode the bus to Virginia from Birmingham. Their bus was leaving. It was on a Saturday, I think. And while that bus was leaving, they had already headed out. He took them to the bus station. I was at home. And I kept, we didn't have cell phones then. So I kept feeling like I was wetting myself. And I was like, why do I keep on wetting myself? But my water didn't fully break, it was just leaking. So I had no way of calling him because we didn't have cell phones or anything. But I know that the bus station wasn't too far from us. So he should have been back by the time. So, and it was like early in the morning that he took them, like maybe around 7 in the morning. So it's about 8 o'clock at night. I mean, 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still feeling wet. So I'm changing clothes. Like, why am I peeing on myself and all that stuff? Just because I wasn't in any pain yet. I hadn't had any labor pains. So around 1 o'clock, he comes home, and I told him, I said, I need to go to the hospital. I think my water breaking. You think your water breaking? I said, yeah, I said, I can't just be peeing on myself every few minutes. He's just so stupid. And so he was like mad because I had messed up his plans for whatever he had going on that day. So we go to the hospital. She was born at Naval Base. No, 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 no. Where was she born? It was like the ship, but Portsmouth. Portsmouth. That's where the Naval Hospital was. Portsmouth, Virginia. And y'all, this experience is I have PTSD behind this experience, y'all. And it's no no dig for my daughter, because she had to be born. It's to the military staff at Portsmouth Naval Hospital. Okay, so I get there. They told me that they had to break my water. So I feel all this warm water and everything coming out. And so they hooked me up to the monitors and all of that. So it's like once they did that, my contractions were very, very hard and very, very strong. And I thought, me being so young and not fully aware of how you can have a natural childbirth even though you had a cesarean before. So I was like, can I please get an epidural? Please, can I get an epidural? Oh, it may be too late because the baby's coming down. I said, please, y'all, I can't take this pain. Please, can I have an epidural? So they said, we got to get the captain. It's like a training school. It's like a school. So the captain wasn't available, so somebody else came. I don't know what his rank was. So he gave me one, and only one side was numb. So I was still feeling the full, all of the pain. And so maybe about 30 minutes went by. I was like, sicko. I'm not even going to say his name. I was like, sicko, please go find somebody. Please. I know that I'm not supposed to be feeling this. Please. When I tell you, it hurts so bad. So eventually, it took me almost having to grovel in bed for him to go see if somebody could come and help me. They brought somebody, and they tried to do another epidural. It didn't take, and by then the other one had worn off. So now I'm in full blown labor, feeling everything, and I'm just knowing I'm about to die. I started repenting. I started praying, because they say that the closest thing to death is childbirth. So I was like, Lord, please, God, forgive me for my sins. Take care of my daughter. Make sure that she is loved and all of that stuff, because I really, really felt like I was going to die. And I only had him, and he didn't want to be there. So I kept telling him, the doctor said they were coming back in. I feel the baby. Can you please go see? So he said, the lady just left from out here. I said, you don't feel this pain. Please. I was begging him, because it was so horrific. The pain was just so unbearable. When God says that you're gonna labor, you're gonna labor. And if somebody tell you the labor pains, having a baby naturally is not painful, they're sadistic. It's something wrong with them. Based on what I felt, it was just horrific. The pain was just unbearable. But anyway, he went out, got somebody. They came back and said, oh, you're right. She's crowning. Let's go on and start pushing. I screamed, I yelled. I was like, please, just take her out, please. I had never ever felt anything so painful. So she did come out. She was a healthy baby. She weighed 8 pounds, uh, 4 ounces, and was 22 inches long. And what a set of lungs. And she was so beautiful to me. She was so beautiful. I mean, pretty, pretty red face. She had the dimples. She was just beautiful. And I cried and I cried and I cried because I had my daughter. I just didn't like who I had her with. I had already set up in my mind with all of the allegations and women calling me, telling me that he forced himself onto them and all of that stuff. I had finally made up my mind that when I get home, because his case, I mean, not his case, his tour was over in August. Matter of fact, August 15th. Our daughter was born August 3rd. August 15th, we were headed back home. And I could not wait. I was experiencing postpartum depression. Oh, but let me tell you though. So while I was in the hospital, he wasn't there. He wasn't there at all, but he had taken off. He told the captain or somebody that his wife had had a baby and he needed to be at the hospital. He was there when our daughter was born, and he was there to pick me up. And I lied for him because the his sergeant or somebody called to speak to him, thinking that he had gone AWOL. And I was like, they was like, did Howard spend the night with you at the hospital? And I said, yes, sir. He just left to go home and change or something. I still got these little stickers from when I went to the hospital. And I said he should be back. And if he comes back, I'll tell him that you called. And he was like, well, okay, congratulations. I was like, thank you. Now, my friend who had her baby 2 days before me, she said she couldn't hardly move. She had so many flowers and cards and everything. So I told him, I said, where my flowers and cards and balloons and everything congratulated me my baby? I said, oh, that's probably because nobody likes you. And I just left it at that. They saw how he treated me, so why would they send me flowers or congratulate me on anything? So that kind of stung. So then we get back to the apartment and tried to have somewhat of a normal life. I didn't want him to touch me. I didn't want him to talk to me. I didn't want to see him. So I asked him, could he please just go stay on the ship until they come pack our stuff, or just go anywhere, just stay away from me. And he did. I asked for it, I got it. So moving day, we moving back to Birmingham. I'm excited because I'm gonna be with my family. So this is where I stop. I took my meds and I'm getting groggy. So I'll come back later on today. But I think this is part 5. I think this is part 5. All right. Thank y'all for following me and subscribe and be feel free to repost. I need some money, and that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for healing because I've got so much anger in me when it comes to him and how and I got so much anger in me too because of how I allowed him to treat me the way that he did. All right, y'all. Bye.